comes the, y'all don't really want it like, yeah. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, yeah. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the 615. It's your host, Lee Hills, and tonight we are talking the defensive side, pre-training camp, defensive edition. But first, let's bring in our co-host, Tyler King. Tyler, how are you?
Great, man. Good to be here again. Ready to talk some defense, man.
And
we talked offense last week.
Defense this week. But before we dive into that, let's bring our guest in from Titans Colosseum. We are joined by Firestone and Morocco. Gentlemen, how are y'all?
Man, we chilling, man. How y'all been?
Good. Long time no see.
Yeah, man. I know, right? Sure. It feels like it's been since forever since the last time I seen you.
Just felt like yesterday.
Just felt like yesterday.
But first off, can we talk about the song that RJ dropped?
Oh,
yes.
1993.
Yeah,
man. I wish the rapper was here to
song,
talk about his own song, but we're gonna hold it down for him, man. But
yeah, we got to.
It's something
it's
something that's been in the works for a while. Yeah, we needed to update some things, and just felt like the time was right. So RJ got in the booth. You know, I provided my ad libs or my little part or whatever. Firestone hooked up the video, and that's how we created magic, man. We getting good feedback from it.
It's great too, man. Like I said last night, it was great.
There are some things that have happened. They've dropped the Madden cover for Madden 25, and it is headlined by the reigning, defending Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey.
Can he stay healthy? What about that curse?
yeah.
The way I went at that felt like a WWE promo.
Man. I mean, I thought they were going to go defense because it's been a while since they had a defensive guy on the cover, but I'm not mad with CMC.
I know. I
would
of
love
wish
to
they
have
would
seen like a wide receiver.
I wanted to see like they did with the was it Fitzgerald and Troy Polamalu? Yeah, I think that was like Madden 10 maybe
crossover.
Yeah, that would have been cool, but
I don't know. Next year we might see a wide receiver on the Madden cover after all these wide receivers getting paid and how they're performing. Next year might be it might be Jay Jettis or Chase, Jamar Chase on that cover next year, or maybe even Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah. You never know. Might be a surprise sneak little thing for you.
I'm going. I don't even care. Whoever the best offensive lineman is, let's go O-line next year, y'all. Let's do it. Let's bring an O-line to Madden, man. Don't forget about our protectors.
Or go father-son crossover. Marvin Harrison Sr. and Jr.
Yeah. And you can pair it up with the McCaffreys too, and you can hit two again.
That's right. I forgot about him.
Or, don't get me wrong, you could also look at possibly the Mannings, maybe. Go a little throwback action.
You could.
Yeah.
Eli Payton. They both got rings.
But
it could work.
We're not here to talk offense. We're not here to talk offense. We are here to talk defense. As we like to say, defense wins championships. But Tyler sent me this, and it's the percentages on third down from NFL teams last year in 2023. And you see the Titans ranked 18th in the league on opponent's third down from a defensive standpoint, with a third down percentage for the whole year of 38.5.
I think that's changing.
I want to hit at it. I want to hit at it like this. Hang on. Let me. Hang on. We're having problems already. Here we go. But that number, I don't know who said it. That number's changing this year. You have a true defensive mind in Denard Wilson. And another way you could look at this, our defense is better. On paper, they're better.
Well, the mindset is better too. Like the way I'm looking at it right now, and I want to, throw this question to Firestone and, Morocco as well, is y'all have heard that the interview with the DC, right? With how he said, we're going to be violent, we're going to attack and all of that good stuff, right? So looking into it, and I know I kind of like had touched on it before, but I didn't understand that. Y'all remember when the Titans were first here and you remember like there was the Samari roll blitzes and you had, the freak coming off the line and everything crazy, like, and you had different packages and you were seeing stuff. Well, that was when Jeff Fisher was the coach. So he's actually worked with Jeff Fisher. So I think we're going to see and I know you've said it before too, Lee, similar. I think we're going to see something more like in Baltimore, like packages that can confuse the defense. Cause like if you're going to come in the middle and you're going to try to stop Simmons and Sweat, and you could throw Sebastian Day in there. Yeah. Do y'all think we're going to see more different packages this year as far as blitzing goes?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Just like you said, it's going to look similar to Baltimore. Denard is going to put his own little twist on things or whatnot just because he's the defensive coordinator. But I think this defense is going to look totally different from what we've seen the last few years. What you're going to see, you're going to see, a lot of guys moving around. You may see one guy in one position this play, and then the next play, he may be in a totally different spot. So the players that they bring it in, they've got to be able to play multiple positions.
Yeah, I think it's going to be completely different than, even like the Fisher days, like you said, there was some creativity to it, but I think this is going to be even a different level of creativity just because of the fact that we talk about the D-line, we talk about Sweat, we talk about Simmons, we talk about Harold Landry out there. But you forget that, hey, L'Jarius Sneed can blitz. Chidobe Awuzie can blitz,
Your boy.
McCreary can blitz as well. Kenneth Murray can blitz. Gray can blitz. Okay, we can throw in Molden and blitz. So you might think you got Mike set on offense and the QB knows who's blitzing, and the next thing you know, that guy might be dropping back and another blitzer is coming. So we can really have a lot of creativity, and blitzes can come from truly anywhere, because even if we do blitz L'Jarius Sneed, guess what? We have faith in our corners and everybody else out there that they're going to be able to handle that role if he doesn't get to his assignment. So it's going to be a different level of creativity we ever seen. And like you said, Denard Wilson said he wants dogs. He wants disciplined asshole with grit. So that's what we're going to be having, and that's what we're going to see on this football team is people flying around, being creative, and just causing chaos to offenses across the NFL. Yes.
Do y'all remember, and this is on like all, like when Titans, like if it's on NFL Network, whatever it is, they'll show like old highlights. Do y'all remember the Super Bowl year? There's a clip of Samari Roll blitzing, and he jumps up like really high in the air, and you know what I'm saying? And he's got those hands, and he's up like that. When I see that, I'm like, that envisions what I feel like our defense is going to be this year. Just that clip alone, just with him jumping, you know. But
that was a dope pick, man. I mean, I remember seeing that not too long ago. I was like, man, dude look like he's really ascended.
I mean, I thought he looked like Michael Jordan out there flying, man.
Right.
I feel like we're gonna go back to the MMCNB days. My man catch no ball.
Right. I hear that, man.
No fly zone.
Like
Legion of Boom.
Yep, and we're just music to our ears is when we all heard the words of the days of playing 15, 10. Like I already see fire, like because y'all already know.
He's like,
it would be 3rd and 8, and we're like 20 yards back. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, life is stressful. Life was stressful. Baby.
Like, what are we doing?
Right, exactly.
Just giving up 3 yards.
I can't.
Like, if it's 3rd and 2 and you're playing 7 yards off, before you can get back to your man, he's already got a first down.
Yeah, to slant zig routes. Oh, I'm taking advantage of that cushion every single time. I was so tired of seeing that all the time. It's going to be better to see now. Like I'm not so worried about Snead and Cheetah, but you know McCreary, don't get beat up there when you're playing press now, and whoever was going to be there and play in that dime package, make sure you don't get beaten either. So the outside guys, not so much. Y'all better hold these slot guys that usually are quicker. Y'all better be able to press and hold those guys up too.
And I'm hoping
we got a Colts fan in here. We have a Colts fan in the comment section. Thoughts on the Colts winning the division?
I'm gonna jump out this window right now.
No.
Yes, go ahead.
That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Titans are gonna come to Indy and run all over y'all. We're gonna throw all over y'all this year.
Like, how are you gonna say division and you don't even know if AR is even fully healthy yet or even going to play yet? Like this dude just had to rest his shoulder already again. Bro, just won't focus on being above 500 right now. Just can y'all get above 500? I think that'll be happy. If y'all can keep your starters healthy, that'll be good.
I think the Titans have the best odds right now, outside of Houston, to win the AFC South.
You know how they do us, man. They always stick us in the bottom somewhere. But speaking on Indy situation, man. I'm just going to keep it short and simple. It's been 10 years ever since they won the division. So, I mean, not much has changed in Indy. So, let's, you know what I'm saying, temper expectations for the Colts. I mean, they got close last year, like they always do. They get close, but just can't never get there. So,
close,
you know,
close
they
like
might get
horseshoes and hand grenades.
But I wouldn't count on it. Right. Yeah.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Hey, Lee, is there a way to bring up one of those last 2 comments?
Shout out to T. King.
Okay.
I was in the Ville last year and saw our backup quarterback beat y'all boys.
Okay, but you asked us about this year, not last year. We're talking about a new team. We're talking about a whole new roster. Y'all ain't really done too much in free agency. You're starting rookie QB that y'all thought was supposed to be the franchise guy is not healthy.
To be honest.
No.
Yeah, that's like me
your
saying
backup quarterback. Go ahead, Tyler.
That's like me saying, I remember when Eddie George came to y'all's place in the AFC and it just ran all over you guys, you know, divisional, and then we went we're talking about now. I don't care what happened last year.
He gave Morocco a shout out. He says, I don't mind Morocco, to be honest.
I mean,
nobody does.
Colts fans know, man. It's been a long time. And plus, too, he's talking about sweeping the Titans. I mean, what did they do for the Colts at the end of the day? They couldn't make it count when it needed to count, man. I mean, you saw how y'all season ended. Your season ended with your star running back on the sideline watching your backup that swept the Titans overthrow a dude. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I wouldn't even be bragging about the Titans.
If it wasn't for
right
that
now.
Pierce catch in that game, we would have probably taken that game. Y'all remember?
And if I remember correctly, he didn't ask if they was going to sweep the Titans. He asked if they was going to win the division. And you swept us last year, and believe God they swept us last year. So you still didn't make the division there. So it doesn't
For
even
the first time in like 4 years.
Beating us don't matter. Yeah. I hate when the Texans, Colts, and Jags talk about, well, we beat y'all. No, we're talking about winning divisionals. We're talking about winning playoffs. We're talking about getting to the Super Bowls. It don't matter that you have to dumb it back down to be like, oh, well, we beat y'all. Okay, the question was, do you think you could win a division? No, we don't think so. We don't think so. You're going to be down there with Jaguars, I believe, unless AR can actually be healthy. But that's a big if right now.
That would be my number. If I was a Colts fan,
Dude weighs like 250 something pounds and still runs a 4.43. That's like Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he's got to stay healthy, though. That's the thing. I mean, he can have all the measurables. He can have all of the speed, but if he can't stay healthy, man, I mean, it's not going to benefit the team. But, man, we're talking defense, man.
Yeah, let's get into it.
My bad. Forget the Colts, man. Let's talk defense. Let's talk about this two-tone defense, man.
We're going on the roster and on the bubble to start. For me on the roster, you have to say Sebastian Joseph Day, Devondre Sweat, of course, Jeff there, Harold Landry, Awuzie, Hooker, and Snead. They're on the roster no matter what.
Yeah.
But on the bubble, Gibbons, I think he is right there on the bubble of making the roster and not. Because has he been productive here?
Sorry, go ahead.
Has he been productive here? Yes and no. Molden is right there for me. Farley is right there. And Otis Reese is right there. Is there anybody that I have not on the bubble that you would? And let's start with Morocco on this.
Yeah, y'all go.
Start with me, man. Can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Is Eric Garrett still around?
He is.
He is. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's at
risk not a bad player. He's more special teams.
Yeah, but I mean, he may find himself on the outside looking in because we brought in Jarvis Brownlee and you got the kid from Tennessee who's been making some noise the last couple of weeks.
Who Denard Wilson has talked highly of.
Yes. So I mean, Garrett could be someone on the way out. They seem like they like Gibby right now. They like Gibby. And Gibby isn't, a bad player. Gibby is just, I mean, to put it bluntly, he's just slow. I mean, he's just, not as athletic as you want your linebacker to be. Say that again.
And then you pair him with Kenneth Murray. Right there at the linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gibby makes the team because, I mean, they look like they're going to have Kenneth Murray just, being a thumper. I mean,
now,
don't forget. Go ahead.
Don't forget, we got Williams, too. I know he was safety in college, but they're moving him to linebacker as well.
They're bringing him to linebacker. So we basically drafted two linebackers.
Correct.
We basically drafted two linebackers.
Yep, Cedric and him. So I think it's going to be Cedric, and I think it's going to be Kenneth Murray at starting, and then you're going to see Williams coming in packages like them dimes and them nickels. That's like a hybrid linebacker, hybrid safety type situation.
And I'm going to say this. I wouldn't be surprised after the news that dropped last night from Jordan Schultz about Marcus May going to Miami. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the week we signed someone like a Justin Simmons or a Micah Hyde.
It sounded actually like I was listening to the radio today. The Simmons things. It sounds like it's a pretty good possibilities from that's how it is when you hear like local radio, like 104 zone. It's just
104.5 the zone.
exactly. Yeah. So, but I will say this, man. I don't think Molden's going anywhere.
Well, I think the only way Molden doesn't stay is if the Titans bring in another safety. If he does, he's pushed down the depth chart.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Molden could be looked at like, hybrid type, someone to play corner and safety or whatnot. And that
he
might
can do
keep
both.
him on this team. Yeah, that might keep him
He can
on
do
this
both.
team. Right.
But before we head into the guts of this episode, as I like to say, let's hear a little something from a Tennessee native by the name of MCD.
This that Tennessee shit. 615-901. Nashville, Memphis, Clarksville, Murfreesboro. Rep your state. Cadillacs, 24s, Tennessee pimpin'. Superfly, whiskey drinking Tennessee women. If you ain't from the 6, then you can't ride with me. 12s in the back, that's how we Tennessee living. Cadillacs, 24s, Tennessee pimpin'.
And you can find Tennessee Pimpin' and all of MCD's music wherever you get your music from. And Morocco, I saw you getting into it.
Nah, yeah, man, that's the jam right there, man. I mean, shout out to MCD, man. He most definitely representing the state to the fullest.
But we're talking projected 53 man. And I think Titans go 5 interior, 5 edge, 5 inside linebackers, and 10 in the secondary. But we're going to start defensive interior, where I think you definitely have to think Jeff, Sebastian Day, and Sweat are your top 3 right now. But the 2 guys behind in all 3 of those positions, I went TK McClendon, the undrafted free agent out of Eastern Kentucky, and then Marlon Davidson, who came in and played decently well for us in the back end of last season. Is there anybody on here that you would substitute out and with who?
Yeah, who do we draft from Michigan? I'm slipping his name now.
He's more of an edge rusher.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, this interior. Okay, no.
I tell you what,
Caleb Murphy's more outside too, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that interior is going to be a problem. As long as both of them stay healthy, that is going to be a problem for offenses. Let me tell you.
Right. It's just more about health for me. I don't have a problem with the defensive line right now. I mean, would I like to add more depth to it? Hell yeah, I would. But just looking at this group of interior players, I don't have a problem with.
Wasn't McClendon? Wasn't he the guy that we brought in? It was a first round pick.
He was an undrafted free agent last year.
Undrafted. Okay. So no, we brought in somebody else.
From Eastern Kentucky.
Okay. I'll look at
and
him
then
some more.
We go to the edge, where I didn't even put the picture of Murphy on here, but I have Caleb Murphy making this roster, along with Jalen Harrell from Michigan. But those front 3, Landry, Key, and Weaver, those 5, those are probably the nastiest 5 you can find.
I think I really, truly, like within my heart, believe that Weaver is I think he's a dog, actually. And a lot of people, I know some people say things, but I think from what I've seen, I think he actually can end up, I'm not saying he's going to end up being like super elite or anything, but I think he can
definitely overtake Key or somebody.
Well, he can definitely, I mean, I don't necessarily know like that or anything, but I think I think he's going to have a very kind of a more of a coming out year this year. But I'm actually really I like him. I'm looking forward to him this year.
Yeah, and honestly, like to me, my point, if Arden can't step up like we've been needing him to, like consistently, Harold be a
Weaver
guy
could
I
do
would
it.
look at. Well, no, I would say Harrell or Harold. Weaver, I think is
The
a
kid
good
from
depth
Michigan.
piece that's back. So, but when you watch his Michigan tape, he's not the guy that always penetrates and gets there on the first move or anything. But he's that guy that when the other guys can make moves and they the QB steps up out of that line or the running back steps into a lane, he's usually that guy that's right there to play cleanup and make sure that lane is stay closed. So everybody else will then Sweat, Simmons, and Landry can all go penetrate, and then Harold can sit there and be ready to then play cleanup if they do get past him. And I think that's where he's going to pick up and play a little bit better in this system, and that's where he might overpass Key, and then Weaver will be backing up Landry and Harrell.
I like that.
And of course, we have Mr. Jones in the house saying Weaver equals Tier Tart on defense.
Does he mean that in a good way, bad way? I mean, I'm high on Weaver.
Probably a good way.
Yeah, I'm high on Weaver because
Me too.
I've seen Weaver be productive for us. I mean, his second year in the league, he gave us 5.5 sacks or something. So, I mean, in this defense, it would not surprise me if he matches those numbers or if those numbers are higher. And honest to God, truth, I
wouldn't be surprised if he has 8 sacks this year.
I think.
I mean,
they're going to be higher. I think.
Yeah, because I mean, you want him to be able to give Harold Landry a rest. You want to be able to keep Harold Landry up off the field so much, keep Jeff off the field so much. That's why I'm worried about this depth, because I know if we can keep Landry, Simmons, and all the other guys, all the other contributors or whatnot, we can keep those guys as healthy as possible. I mean, that's only going to help us out more on the back end.
Okay, but what about this? If we run a 3-man set up there on D line majority of the time, and we let Kenneth Murray be that free linebacker that blitzes from time to be that 4th man for us too? Would then you be not having as much of an issue with this depth if we go a 3-man type of 3-4 set more often than we have in the past?
That's okay.
Now, simply put, Firestone, depth is key. I mean, that's how all those good teams make it in the playoffs, man. More bodies. I mean, that's what I want. Bodies on top of bodies.
Yes, sir.
and I actually I want to reiterate something that Firestone has said a couple times, and really, as I was looking at even all the way back to his college highlights, the reason that I actually think that Murray is going to fit here versus, like you said, who is like progressed over there at the but with this defense, I only, like you said, what did you say, Firestone? You said see ball, hit ball, like let them do everything else and just tell him go lay this dude out. That's what he's good at. And honestly, with have everything else go on, and I mean, don't even have him on an assignment, but run towards the ball.
Watch running back, and then if running back ain't got it, bro, you penetrate, you go get it.
Yeah, and I think I actually am a little frustrated people about kind of like hating on him and all of this or whatever. And I was like, there are some players in this league that are just not in the right system.
Bro, they had Bosa, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, Jackson. None of them progressed. They all kind of stayed right where they were. Nobody in that defense or even in that team total, nobody progressed and got better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, go ahead.
Mr. Jones, I think he meant it in a good way. He said, I'm a Weaver.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Believer.
That's awesome. That well done, Mr. Jones. Well done.
Somebody needs to put that on a shirt.
Yeah, sell, especially if he start racking up on those sacks.
And then we're heading to inside linebacker. I think the Titans go. That should be five right there. Which I have Kenneth Murray. I have Gibby, Dr. Gibby, Cedric Gray, and Williams. But you could also look at a guy like Chance Campbell or Luke Gifford as that fifth depth piece.
Yeah, I think they, like I said earlier, man, I think they like Gibby. Honest to God, truth. I think they value his smarts. I mean, I'm looking for Cedric Gray to be the starter, but you know, if something happens with Gray, you're gonna have. Yeah, I didn't want to say that green dot word because I feel like we've been putting too much of the emphasis on green dot responsibilities.
Well,
but
they've mentioned
Gibby could fill that role.
They've mentioned two names that could be that green dot this season. Kenneth Murray being one, and Cedric Gray being the other.
And I think Kenneth would only be just a stepping stone until Cedric's ready, because Cedric's who they really want. And I think they're really going to want Kenneth just to run around, and Kenneth can be the guy that teaches Cedric how to do it.
Murray's only here on a 1-year deal.
Oh, yeah, he needs a prove-it contract. He believes he's worth more than he is. He's kind of like that Tyler Boyd. Like, I'm here because I believe I can play here, and I'm taking a contract. But if he plays good, which I believe he's going to play good, I can see him being here longer and playing longer here. Well, because the system's going to be different. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yep. And I think a lot of people don't realize how good of a linebacker Kenneth Murray actually is when he's in a system that actually lets him play to his abilities.
Yeah, just get him going downhill and let him thump. Let him be the thumper that he is. Keep it simple.
Yes. Agreed.
But we have two slides on DB. Here's the first set on DB. You have your starting five. You've got Sneed, Hooker, Molden, McCreary, and Awuzie. That's straightforward. Your top five starters.
He looks so much better than last year.
Bro, don't it? It's a sigh of relief seeing that right there.
I'm talking about a complete 360 from last year, man. I mean,
oh yeah.
Jesus.
And
it looks like when you take over a Madden franchise and you like, all right, we're fixing DBs first. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you play Madden and start a Titans franchise.
This is my favorite slide of the night, I'll just tell you.
The secondary.
Oh yeah. Like I'm just like,
but there's a continuation. There's a continuation on the DBs. I think Jarvis Brownlee makes it.
Yeah.
I think Eric Garrer makes it. The kid from UT makes it. I think Anthony Kendall makes it. And of course, the guy from me on the outside looking in, Caleb Farley.
I think he's more.
I think Farley could make it.
I don't know why.
I've heard a lot of great things about him with mini camp and OTAs ending today. The Titans players are free until the end towards the end, basically like the last week of July. But I've heard nothing but good things come out of mini camp and OTAs on Caleb Farley.
Morocco and Firestone, what are y'all's takes on Farley? I'm curious because I think he might be more on the bubble than people think, but that I just might just be a gut feeling. But what are y'all's takes on Farley?
Man, I think it's going to boil down to him first and foremost staying healthy, and then second, what can he provide? I mean, he's got to be able to do something. I mean, you heard what Brian Callahan said about Traylon Burks. If you ain't starting, you got to, be able to do something if you're going to be on this roster. So Caleb's going to have to carve out a role for himself. And, you know, I don't know how much he played special teams with Vrabel, if he even played special teams on the Vrabel, but that may be his path for making the team.
I mean, that we got a coach that is talking, like I said, that blows my mind. We got a coach that literally was not just talking about him being a returner, but Burks also being a gunner. I mean, it's a different ball game this year with, you know, so.
And the wide receivers coach, I don't know if you saw it today from TD on X, but he was talking about how he gives some of these wide, because there people was talking about, you know, Traylon Burks not really trying too hard. And is it conditioning? Is he really his work ethic there? And he's like, I tell them to take it easy a little bit when they come into my drills sometimes, because a lot of times they are doing special team drills, and a lot of these wide receivers are playing gunner now, and they're tired and they're running full speed. So I tell them they can run half speed or they can run 3/4 of a speed. It's not their work ethic. It's because they're doing so much. I'm giving them a chance to actually work on the technique, because when they're out there running special teams, that's when they're focused on their speed and running everything as hard as possible. So a lot of these wide receivers and a lot of these DBs you're going to see in that gunner position on special teams. And Farley, I'm hopeful and optimistic that he can actually come in here and be a depth position at safety. I don't know if starter's in the realm for him anymore, because I don't really know how well that back is for him. So we'll see about that, because that's just what it's always going to withstand to, is how well that back's going to be. But I think he can come in here, because some of those practice clips, man, he was hitting people hard. He was getting downhill. He looked like he was ready and happy to be back to football. And sometimes that sparks a passion in some people. So I'm hopeful for that, but realistically, you're on a bubble here. Like, you haven't really been able to perform. You've been hurt a lot of these years, that you ain't give us much of any play time for a first round pick. This is a new regime. They're going to want to see something from you. You're going to have to go out there and prove it and make a wow play for the coaching staff and for Rand to be like, he's worth bringing back next year, because there's a lot of red flags around you with injury concerns.
Yeah, and I've heard that actually. I think he's met with a sports psychologist and stuff as well. So it makes sense to see a different attitude out there for sure. So, well, I guess we'll see.
So Mr. Jones came in with Cortland Finnegan. He misspelled Christian, but I get it. Caleb Farley, all CF initials.
Man, let's hope Caleb can be more.
Could Caleb Farley sneakily be like that Cortland Finnegan style player we need?
I was going to say that. Let's hope he's more Cortland Finnegan than Christian Fulton. Well, I know that's a KF, but yeah.
I mean, I don't think so. I'm not really one to sugarcoat stuff. I'm not very good at it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think he can be decent, but I don't think he's going to be a Finnegan, man.
We're heading to the back end.
We just stay healthy for right now, honestly. Just stay healthy. Focus on keeping your health and making the best out of your opportunities.
3 surprise cuts from the defensive standpoint. And it looks like we just lost Firestone.
Nah,
but
don't keep
3. This is actually a very good question. How many games has he played since he was drafted? I think it's only like 2 or 3.
Probably about 2 or 3. I know he played. I know he played in the Buffalo game when Buffalo smacked the mess out of us. Because I vividly remember him getting turned around by Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs caught the ball on one side of the end zone, and Caleb Farley was up over here on the opposite side. I mean, it was pretty bad. He played in the Washington Commanders game as well, when he kept on getting smoked by that one no-name dude. And that's what pisses me off so much about the Titans back then. Just they always get smoked by some no-name. I mean, they gave they were the reason Matt Hollins got a contract in Atlanta. I mean, I hope the days are over with, man. I really do.
So, Mr. Jones made a very good point. Our offense is going to have to be our best defense.
Maybe so. It just depends on how.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't agree with that, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, we got DBs, we got Jeff, we got Sweat right there. You got some linebackers that are ready to prove and do stuff. So, like, it's not the greatest of what we need, but it's not like a liability of the team right now.
Like it was
Honestly, like we
last year.
still correct. Well,
Right.
honestly, last year it was better than the offense was. The offense was the liability last year. The defense was ranked 18 and the
The
offense was
last 2
27.
years. The last 2 years, the offense has been a liability.
Yeah, so I just think this is where you're going to see. Honestly, we got to make sure Brian Callahan can call plays and set up a game plan. That's the real question here for me. Not the defense and the offense helping that. Like, that's optimistic looking on paper, but Brian Callahan still ain't never called a play in the NFL yet. We got to see if he can put a game plan together, which I have confidence he can. But that's the question mark for Brian
He sat
Callahan.
under
still.
Zach Taylor for 3 or 4 years, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And you saw what he, and until he got to Cincinnati, I don't think Zach Taylor had ever called a play either.
Well, right, but just like Rand Carthon said, he said until you become something, you've never been it. Until I was a GM, I didn't know how to be a GM, and I made a lot of mistakes my first year too. So that's still thing. Like, yeah, you was there, you've been under good mentorship, and you could do good, but you don't know how to call plays in the NFL until you start calling plays in the NFL.
I love what you just said, and also, like, I think a big part of that too is, I think if this season, will the offense be better or defense? Well, I think our offense with our signings, with the name recognition that we have, I understand that there's more quote unquote sexy names on offense. So I think it could be like a misconception, but at the same time, like, I think the answer to all of this is yes, our defense, we've gotten more like positive parts as well. But Denard Wilson, I think we got to think. I think that right there is what makes me think. I don't think our defense is going to be any sort of a liability at all this year. I really don't. I really don't. I just think it's just if you just want to go name recognition or something like that, maybe. But I mean, other than that,
and one thing I've always heard, and I stand behind this: a team takes on the identity of their coach. Defensively, we're going to take on the identity of Denard Wilson. Offensively, we're going to take on the identity of Brian Callahan.
Yeah. And for me, optimistically, like with the way these two coaches are, like, and like I said, still got a lot to prove, still got a lot of things to do. This is just right now way too early, overreaction type stuff. But the ceiling for me is this, that we have the offense and the defensive style of like how Chicago was back in the day. Not playing style, but how defense amplified offense and the offense amplified the defense. There's not going to be the same play strategy, but how they're going to kind of feed off of each other type of style is what I feel. So that's always good to kind of have, and that's what I'm kind of looking forward to now too.
And Mr. Jones saying what he was meaning was our offense needs to score enough to support our defense. And I agree.
Oh yeah, 30 points plus, please.
Oh yeah, man. Give me what? I'll take 23 points per game is an improvement. I'll take that just starting out, because you got to understand though. I mean, they have to come in here and get this chemistry down.
Yeah,
and I feel we don't know how long that's going to take. So I feel like 23 points per game is a way more better points per game than what 17 points a game we were doing last season.
Yeah,
and just think about all those games.
Yeah,
it was 17. Think about all those games we lost by 1 point. You giving them 6 more points per game. I mean, that right there could, put us in a good position at the end of the year.
With this roster, and it, like you said, 6 more points. Our issue is we just struggled to get in the end. Like, we just getting in the end zone was the problem. Like, we kick field goals all day, but we have to. This year. I mean, and I tell you what, I bet, and I will say, I know we're talking about defense, but I do love that. Levis is being as humble as he is. Well, I feel like he is.
Yeah,
right now
he is 100%.
And
Mr. Jones came with a very good question, and I don't know the answer to this. Is Stonehouse back to 100%? I don't think he is.
He is,
No.
but he's getting there. He's
I
in the
think he'll
building
miss at least
rehabbing.
the first 4 weeks of the season.
Hey, and if he's not, I'll tell you what. I don't know if y'all saw TD's other tweet today where he's talking about the opening drive of the 7-on-7. Will Levis threw a touchdown to NWI, and then afterwards he punted the ball out into the lake.
Yes,
So
I
if
saw
Stonehouse
that.
ain't, we'll just let Will Levis kick the ball out here and let it punt it.
I'll let him do everything.
Well.
And of course, shout out to the guys over at Sports Nation.
Nah, yeah, man.
Blueface and
Shout out
Matthew
to-
Massey.
Yeah, shout out to Matt and Matt, man. Hey, y'all make sure y'all
Matt
go
Squirrel.
tune in to
Matt
their
Squirrel.
show, man.
And of course, they're also part of the Twin Titan Sports Network. But as we get ready to head into the back end of this, 3 surprise cuts after preseason from a defensive standpoint. And let's start with Morocco on this. Who is one of your 3 surprise cuts?
Surprise cuts. Honest to God truth. I mean, anybody that they cut on defense, it wouldn't surprise me at all. But just right off the top of my head, it would surprise me if they get rid of. I'm gonna say it'll surprise me if they get rid of Gibby, man, because I just think that, man, I think they like dude, man, and you cannot go into the season putting, all kinds of responsibilities on what's the guy's name? Cedric Gray and Williams or whatnot. No, they're gonna have to have some experience on the back end. So I'd say it'll surprise me if they cut Gibbons. Another surprise, and this is hard. It would surprise me if they cut Farley, kind of, but I kind of expect it at some point. It would surprise me if they mess around and cut Arden Keto. That would be surprising to me.
Mm-hmm.
What, you, Firestone?
Damn, Morocco, you gotta go take mine with Arden but I'm trying to think of somebody else here real quick. Elijah Molden probably most likely, because if we bring in another safety, if he's not happy about that, if he's more of a starting role position, you can see that kind of be, something that comes into play where somebody can walk out the door, or he just might not be overlooked into the situation either. So I just feel like one of those safeties might get, if we go sign another safety, I feel like one of those safeties are going to get cut.
They just said mine. They literally just said mine. I'm not even. Yeah. Literally.
They really are going to be surprises, though.
I would be surprised, but I wouldn't if Farley goes. Number 2, I said Rashad Weaver.
Yeah, I would.
That would surprise
because he could go to any other team and be a starter right now.
Yeah, that'd be a big one.
Yeah, because I just don't see where they would. Yeah.
And number 1, Elijah Molden.
Yeah, because if we go sign a safety, that one of those safeties can go, whether Hooker or it's Elijah Molden, because we were signing somebody there, and then I can see if we keep Farley, we possibly transition Farley into a safety type position. Plus, we got Williams that we just drafted as well. That's going to be a linebacker safety type. So, the safety, even though we do need a solidified starting safety, even though we need a solidified starting safety, we got a bunch of depth options at us, so we don't have to keep as many people around for that secondary there. We got depth. We just got one guy that's the actual standout starter right now, and we don't really necessarily have that for us.
So I found this from Wes Wisely, and it's only two safeties, Amani Hooker and Elijah Molden, seem to be locks to make Titans roster. The safeties that are out there on the market that are 30 or younger, you have Justin Simmons, who's 30. You have Jamal Adams, who's 28. Eddie Jackson, who's 30. Tracy Walker, who's 29. Jaron Curse, former Dallas Cowboy, who's 30. Keanu Neal, who's 28. Justin Evans, who's 28. Jonathan Ford, who's 28. Ryan Neal, who's 28. And John Johnson, who's 28. But then you hit that 31 or older. Micah Hyde, who's 33. Quandre Diggs, who's 31. Adrian Phillips, who's 32. Tashawn Gibson, who's 33. Adrian Amos, who's 31. And Deron Harmon, who's 33. Who would you sign to start? And who would you sign as depth?
I mean, Simmons. I mean, at this point, might as well take Simmons. Yeah.
Simmons, I wouldn't be mad with Jerron Curse. I also wouldn't be mad at Eddie Jackson.
Timmy Morocco.
Yeah, Hyde. He's up there. Say what, 5 star?
I said that was gonna be mine. Eddie Jackson's the guy who stands out to me on that list there.
Yeah.
I said there's two that I said. Let me I said if I'm adding 2 guys off that list, I'm adding Justin Simmons and Micah Hyde. Because you can have Micah Hyde for that veteran, that older veteran leadership in the locker room at safety, who's been around a very winning locker room in Buffalo.
Yeah.
He gets picks too. It's just that age, if you're going to be able to keep up with the speed of these offensive nowadays that are a little bit faster, like you're getting to that age. It's like certain positions don't matter at the age, but the safety, once you start getting to that age, like we all start getting slower at some point. Like we're not all Deion Sanders that can still run a 4.2 all our whole life. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to start getting slower, and this game is getting faster and quicker. And these young dudes are coming in built better and stronger than they have been in the past. So we still that's why like Eddie Jackson and then like Justin Simmons sticks out to me as good guys. Curse would be a good depth guy for me too. Micah is intriguing just because him and Poyer over there in the Bills was just dominating. I think that was the best safety combo with the most interceptions in the league since being teamed up together. So he's definitely a ball hawk, but that age kind of does concern me with what we're trying to build here.
I'm 33 and my knees hurt when I just wake up and get out of bed in the morning. So I mean,
bro, I sleep wrong and get it. Man,
Dude,
I sneeze.
Dude, like
my knees ain't hurt right now, but boy, I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to fight to stay up, man. I'm telling you, boy, when you get older, you know your body starts feeling funny at nighttime.
Yeah.
But of course, we've got to let Firestone and Morocco, of course, give a shout out to Titans Colosseum.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. You make sure y'all tune in to the Titans Coliseum every Monday, every Friday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Me, Firestone, and RJ, we always on the speaking, our truth about the Titans. We ain't gonna say it's the truth. It's our truth about the Titans. I mean, real raw opinions. And Firestone, whatever you got to say, man, let's go ahead and say it, man, because I ain't gonna lie, the old man getting sleepy, right?
Man, just make sure y'all check us out at TitansColiseum.com as well. Also, check out our articles. We write for Athlon Sports as well. We have been teamed up with them now, so we write articles for them as well. So check out for them. Then check us out on all social media platforms and join us on Patreon as well.
Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for coming on. Seriously.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all having us, man.
And we have some big things in the work. We're not announcing it just yet until things get set in stone.
Good.
And it's some big things. It's some big things.
Yes, sir. Very nice.
Can't wait.
But
yeah.
As I always like to say, pull a little Ron Burgundy out the hat. Stay classy and tighten up.
Tighten up.
Let's get tightened up. Tightened up.